Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever other time of day it is for you. My name is Tabitha Gabrielle, and I would like to welcome you back to my channel, or welcome you to my channel. If it's your first time watching my channel, hi, thanks for being here today. Today, I'm going to be doing the birthday book tag. And you guys, it's so funny how this worked out, because this morning, I knew that I wanted to film a video, but I didn't know what I wanted the video to be, and I could not settle or decide on any type of content whatsoever. And then, I'm going throughout my day, and I get a notification that Lindsay created this video, or she didn't create the tag, you know what I mean, but she tagged me in this on a video that she posted today, literally a couple hours ago. So I just wanted to thank Lindsay for the amazing idea. I'm not sure who the original creator of this tag is, but shout out to them as well. Just in case you were wondering, my birthday is July 1st. So, yeah, it's coming up very soon. There are 7 questions in this tag, and all of them are cute little, birthday-related things. The very first question theme is birthday cake. A book with a plot that seems cliché, but you absolutely adore it anyway. And the answer for this one that I put is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This story is a very cliche story. It's a very cliche type of timeline. I feel like it kind of doesn't have super surprising things, if you know what I mean. But I absolutely ate this story up. It is long, it is kind of drawn out, and there are times where it moves kind of slow, but I absolutely loved it. A princess of this kingdom runs away on the day of her wedding and decides that she's going to be a peasant in her kingdom. So she lives as a peasant in her kingdom until a rival kingdom basically comes and kidnaps her. Yeah. I will say the series as a whole, there's 3 books in the series, and I will say the last 2 books had some stuff in it that surprised me in areas, but this first book it's a little bit cliche. It's a little bit juvenile. The main character is a little bit naive, and she's a little bit just all over the place at times. But I loved her, and I thought she was very entertaining, and I thought the story itself was very entertaining, especially for where I was at in my life at the time. It was just what I needed. And so for that, I'm going to call it a little cliche, but I adore it anyway. Okay, the theme for question number 2 is party guests. Your most anticipated book release for 2024. I believe this was a question in another tag that I did recently. And for that one, I had put A Crane Among Wolves, but I've already read that one, and that one's already come out, so we're going to skip past that one. And I'm going to say Reckless by Lauren Roberts. It's the sequel to Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I cannot emphasize to you enough how excited I am for that. Because guess what? It also comes out the day after my birthday. Yeah, I've already got that thing pre-ordered, and I'm going to be reading it the day after my birthday, which is also the day I go back to work after 2 weeks of not working due to helping at camps. So yay. At this point in the year, I really don't know of any other books that are coming out this year that I'm super, super excited for. So I'm going to say that one, and we're going to stick with that one. Okay, the theme for question 3 is birthday presents. A book that surprised you with how much you loved it. And for this one, I put Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose by a sweet friend, Christy A. Cole, here on YouTube. This book is free on Kindle Unlimited, and she's currently working on the second one in the series, as far as I know. And I'm very excited to read that one. The reason why it surprised me is going to sound a little bit mean and judgmental towards some of the smaller indie Christian authors that I've read. And I want to like them. I really do. But I was having PTSD from The Starlit Prince by C.F.E. Black. So when I went into Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose, I was low-key expecting something like that experience, which, if you've seen this video, yeah, I wasn't a fan of that book. No. So number 1, at the time I wasn't super close to Christy A. Cole. We've since become closer friends, but at the time I was not, and so I had no particular loyalties to her. other than I knew that she was another YouTuber and she, you know, commented on my videos sometimes and I commented on hers sometimes. Secondly, like I said, I had PTSD from the Starlight Prince by Sophie Black. We're not going to talk about that book anymore because it's going to make me mad. I'm not a cruel person, I promise. It's just I did not like that book. But we're not talking about that book, thankfully. We're talking about Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose. And we're talking about a book that surprised you in a good way. And this is definitely one that surprised me in a good way. Basic synopsis is Ariadne grows up in a manor that's kind of like a school type system, along with a bunch of other girls. And basically they're trained in different like fighting techniques. They're trained to be smart and, you know, calculating. And so then there's like all these other secrets, and there's also all these like monsters that lurk in the woods around the manor. It's kind of coming of agey because she, you know, finds the Fire Rose and she finds these like special gifts that she has. And I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed the descriptions. I enjoyed the setting. The little, what are they called? The treelings. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on those little guys. They're so cute and I love them. And I want to meet them in person. Yeah. The theme for question 4 is the Happy Birthday Song, a book that deserves all the hype it gets. And for this one, I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. You've heard me talk about Reckless that is coming out on July 2nd. Powerless is the reason why I'm so hyped for that book. I've talked about it multiple times. Y'all are probably tired of it, so I'm going to give you the briefest synopsis possible. You've got a dystopian kind of fantasy setting, and our main girl, Peyton, doesn't have any powers. In a world where most everybody has powers, and if you don't have powers, you're kind of the lowest bar of society and the king wants you dead. The other main character in the story that you're following is the prince, the king's son. Him and Peyton end up in these trials together, these like yearly trials that the kingdom has, and they have to fight, and Peyton has to pretend that she has powers so she doesn't get killed. And, you know, then her and the prince kind of fall in love type of thing, and then he discovers that she doesn't have powers and that she's actually started a revolution in the kingdom. And I don't know how I feel about the revolution situation as a reader, because I'm like, Peyton, girly, you could have played your cards a little bit better than that, okay? Can't wait to see what happens in Reckless, because at the end of Powerless, everything was falling apart. So I'm sure Reckless is gonna be great. The theme for question 5 is Happy Music, a book with some very beautiful and truly memorable quotes. And the answer for this one is literally, oopsies. Anyway, the answer for this one is literally anything by Francine Rivers. I've read every single one of these books, plus some that are on my shelf that I didn't want to add to this stack. But every single one of the books that I've read by Francine Rivers is so beautifully written and so remarkable, and I'm just astounded by how she's able to pour the love of God and just the love that Christians are supposed to have for the world into these books. And I am just flabbergasted by her ability to write a good book. At the time that I read these books the first time, I was not into annotating, so I did not do that. I would really love to go back and read Redeeming Love especially, and just have the opportunity to annotate. I've read this book. I watched this movie. I think both are amazing. I know some people in the Christian community have mixed feelings about Redeeming Love, but I absolutely loved it. It spoke to me. It spoke to my heart. And yeah, that's the answer to this question for me. Literally anything by Francine Rivers. The theme for question 6 is kind of sad. It's Getting Older. A book that you read a long time ago, but you think you would appreciate more if you read it as a more mature reader. And Lindsay brought something up. She said she did not like the use of the word mature in this prompt, and I'm kind of with her. So I'm interpreting this as a book that I read when I was a child that maybe I would interpret differently and understand more deeply as an adult. That's how I'm looking at this. A book that I read a long time ago, but that I think I would appreciate more if I read as an adult reader are any of the Chronicles of Narnia books. I recently read The Horse and His Boy, just like reread The Horse and His Boy, probably about a year ago. I'm missing a few of these books. I've also reread The Magician's Nephew a couple of times with the intention of rereading the whole series, but I've reread The Magician's Nephew about 5 times, but I've never moved on to the second book, which is the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But, we'll get there eventually. It's just that there's so many new books that I want to dive into. It's hard for me to really focus on rereading a book that I've already read, if that makes sense. One day, I would eventually love to reread these as an adult, all of them, the whole series in order, because I know that I will have a deeper appreciation for them. Another book that I wanted to mention for this, because I feel like it is another book that I would really appreciate as an adult that I read when I was about 14, is The Hobbit. It's a classic. I got this from the library when I was 14, and I remember one summer reading it at the pool almost every day. It was great. I have great memories associated with that, and sunburn memories associated with that, but we're not going to talk about that. I almost feel like rereading them is going to ruin the first experience that I had reading them. Can anybody else relate to that? Like, you have certain memories and nostalgia associated with reading a book for the first time, and you kind of think that maybe reading it a second time, you're gonna form new memories and new nostalgia associated with it, so it's gonna ruin the quality of the first experience. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. These are two that I would definitely say I would probably appreciate more as an adult, but I'm scared of losing the childhood nostalgia associated with them. Yeah. The theme for number 7 is Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period in your life. I have a few for this. First is The Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. I started reading The Kiss of Deception back in August of last year. That time in my life felt a little bit unstable, and so this gave me something to escape to, and I think that could be another reason why I enjoyed it so much, even though it is a bit juvenile at times. It was the perfect escape that I needed at the time. I have a lot of good memories associated with that, even though that was a kind of turbulent time in my life. The second book that I wanted to talk about is How the Penguins Saved Veronica by Hazel Pryor. I've talked about this in a few other videos, but this book is just so sweet and just so funny and cheery and happy. It's about this little old lady who is very rich, and she thinks she has no living relatives. So she becomes obsessed with penguins and decides that she wants to give a bunch of money to these penguin scientists. But before she does that, she has to go to Antarctica and kind of see what they do for herself. And it's just funny, and there's all kinds of just funny moments throughout her journey. And throughout the journey, she discovers she does indeed have a living relative, and so he comes along too, and it's just a lot of funny interactions and bonding, and it's got its sweet, wholesome moments, and it's very sweet. I loved it. Plus, it has penguins, so anything with penguins, sign me up. I love penguins. I'm gonna put this next book on here solely because I read it recently. I have not talked about it yet on here. It's one of the only books that has really made me laugh recently. I have not read many books recently that have made me actually feel happy and joyous and laugh, like out loud laugh. And that book is Date with Danger by Janessa Faith. I think that's how you say the author's name, Janessa Faith. This is for Young Kindle Unlimited, first of all. You're following the guy and the girl's perspective, and it is a rom-com murder mystery. Yeah. So the main girl is a hairdresser, and she's kind of ditzy, and she's like head in the clouds type of girl, but she's so fun to read about. I just loved her so much. And sometimes when I'm reading from a female character's perspective and she's too ditzy, I'm like, there's something wrong with you. Please stop. I'm so annoyed by you. But I did not feel that at all with this character. I thought she was funny. I thought she was relatable. And she was just delightful to read about. And then on the flip side, from the guy's perspective, an ex-military FBI agent. And he has got all the grumpy vibes for all the main characters' sunshine vibes. And so it's just really funny. And they end up in all these various crazy shenanigans. There's this mystery associated. The killer is not who you think they are. Beware. Beware right now. This book had me laughing out loud, shamelessly just laughing out loud in the middle of a car repair shop. I'll talk about it more in a recent reads video, more in depth. It was clean, not spicy, closed door type stuff. It was great. I loved it. Okay. And then one more book that I wanted to mention that is not necessarily fitting for any of the prompts on here, but I just wanted to talk about it because this is my birthday video and I can talk about whatever I want to in my birthday video, okay? I just wanted to talk about a book that I technically bought for my cousin's child, but then I started looking at it and I was like, this is so cute, and I had to get it for myself. And I've not talked about it in any other video, and I'm like, what is wrong with me for not having talked about it? But that is Little Pilgrim's Progress. And this is a book by Helen Taylor and illustrated and envisioned by Joe Sutphin. I guess that's how you say that. But look at this illustration, you guys. So this is basically the story of Pilgrim's Progress, like the classic story of Pilgrim's Progress, but in like a child type storyline with little animals as the main characters. It is so delightful, you guys. I did not find it dumbed down at all. It's just more palatable for younger readers. It's got these gorgeous illustrations, and all the little characters are animal characters, and it's just so cute, and they're so like fitting. Look at the characters. I think this is an awesome book for younger readers, for kids, but also for any Narnia lovers out there who love little animal characters in books. Like, this is a beautiful rendition of Pilgrim's Progress, and I think everybody should own a copy of this because it is delightful. It is so cute. It is so sweet. And yeah, I just had to mention it because I saw it on my bookshelf and I was like, I've never put this in a video before. I need to talk about it. And I think that was all for this video. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Thank you again to Lindsay for tagging me. You're a lifesaver, obviously. I don't know if I would have filmed a video today because I don't know that I would have been decisive enough to actually decide on something unless you had tagged me. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I guess I'm supposed to tag somebody at this point, but I don't know who to tag. So if your birthday's coming up in the next month, or if you just had a birthday or something like that, go ahead and do this video because it's fun. I hope you'll have an amazing rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever other time of day it is for you. And I shall see you next time. Goodbye.